then he can listen to it later.
Okay.
Okay, it started recording now. So, Chris, if you're listening to this, there were a couple reasons why we wanted to have the meeting. One of them, the main reason, and the reason we didn't invite Allison, is that you're on the technology team and she's not. And so here's our PAS org chart. And Judy, are you seeing it on your screen?
Yes, I am.
So we have this technology team which doesn't have a leader. Roxana's in Romania. She should be coming back soon. She's been away for about 12 days. And then you're on it, but you're also on the mentoring team, and Roxana's on it, and she's also the manager of the QA team. And Leah, who's also our project coordinator, is now going to be kind of micromanaging the schedule for PAS because we're only 5 weeks away from going live. So I think the technology team's going to kind of fall apart. And when we had the session on the 26th, I'll open up this PowerPoint from that session where we were trying to learn soft chalk. We also went through this table of the 4 technologies and the various teams and also the vendors. I know it's a little hard to read because we marked it up right in the meeting. Maybe if I make the text a little smaller, it won't be so rounded off. But then it's probably, I'm going to open it up to screen. That'll help. Or actually, I'll put it in slideshow mode. So that should help a little to see it. And when we started looking at what the technology team had to do, we said, okay, well, maybe the mentoring team can support MentorCloud. Well, I didn't realize it at the time that you were on both teams, the mentoring team and the technology team. And having 4 technologies to support, and they're all pretty complex, we said, okay, maybe the mentoring team, you and Allison and Judy and even I can help with this. Oh, maybe he's here now. Is that you, Chris?
Yeah, this is Chris.
Okay, good.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, how you guys doing?
We're good.
So thank you for joining us. We weren't sure if you were coming, and so I started just talking about this and actually recorded it. So later you can watch the first 5 minutes, but I'm going to kind of repeat it too,
okay.
As to why we want to have this meeting and so on. So what we were talking about was the technology team, and that's the reason why we had the meeting with you versus with you and Allison both. So you're on the technology team and the mentoring team. Leah Swanson's on the technology team, but she's also the project coordinator. And Roxana is on the technology team, but she's also the QA team leader. So your team is pretty stretched. Can you see my slide? Or are you just on the phone? I guess you're just on the phone.
Yeah,
Okay.
just on the phone for now.
Are you going to be able to get on to GoToMeeting?
Probably, I'm not by a computer right now, but...
Okay, don't worry about it. You can watch it later. Besides, this isn't that complicated. And Leah, who's the project coordinator, thinks she's going to probably have to drop off the technology team because we're at the place in the schedule where she has to start micromanaging the schedule or we're never going to make it. Because especially the content team is hopelessly far behind. So what I wanted to talk with you about today was we probably will just dissolve the technology team, and then you and Leah and Judy and I will need to support MentorCloud. And what we may end up doing with all 4 technologies is just saying, okay, there isn't going to be anybody on PAS who supports these technologies. We're going to go directly to the vendor whenever we have a problem. When a teacher has trouble putting something into NovoEd or SoftChalk, rather than contacting the technology team, they'll just go to SoftChalk. And we could do the same thing with MentorCloud. We could say when a mentee or a mentor is having trouble, they go directly to MentorCloud. But I think it would be good if you and Allison could try to support the mentors and mentees. For one thing, since you've been writing to them, they're inevitably going to ask you. And the problem with vendors is they aren't very fast in replying. You get a trouble ticket and you wait 2 or 3 days, and especially if the person has a problem on the weekend or something. So I wanted to see if you're willing to take a stab at trying to support it. From the point of view of, you will have, there is no way that the 50 people can get on there and not have problems. It's not very intuitive. If you've played with it at all, you know that. And what we can do, we can ask for you and Allison to get a training session from MentorCloud. They've done 2 or 3 for us in the last 4 years or so, and I'm sure they'd do another one.
Yeah, I think that's feasible. I've been navigating through it myself, and having someone to kind of bridge that gap between the technical support that the vendor provides, might be beneficial to kind of speed things up. Like you said, they may not respond, quickly enough, and that would probably discourage the mentor and the mentee into, doing what they need to do to, exchange information.
Well, and you'll also get to the point by the time the 4th person has asked you a question that you can answer it in 2 minutes, whereas the support person wouldn't have the context. They're all going to ask the same questions. Where do I find my mentor? Or something along those lines. Okay, well, Judy and I are meeting with Robbie, but not until the 18th. So I think I'll go ahead and send him, he's the CEO, a message saying, can we get a training class for you and Allison and Judy and me? I'm going to Boston next week, so I might not be able to join you, but I have had the training a couple of times. That doesn't mean I can do things quickly because it's really easy to forget, but I can stumble around and find stuff eventually. So what is your schedule for the next 10 days or so we have some idea when a good time might be for a training class? Or 2 or 3 times that you might be available, and then we'll find out Allison's schedule.
How long would the training class be?
Oh, I think by the time they walk through all the standard features, the features that the users use, and then the administration features, it's going to be close to an hour.
Okay. I can fit that into my schedule anytime, I guess, after 9 o'clock during the daytime, and probably before 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay, so for between 9 and 3 Central Time, right?
Yes.
Okay, so between 9 and 3 Central, okay. Judy, what's Allison's employment situation? Does she work every day during the day or what?
I believe she does.
Okay, so maybe she could do it at her lunch hour, which would be 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. She's on the East Coast, I think.
No, she's not.
Oh, no,
she's
that's
right here in Fremont.
She's here. Oh, never mind. So she's here. So 9 o'clock. So noon here is 2 p.m. in Texas. Okay. Okay. So let's talk with Allison, or we'll send out you can send out an email and ask him whenever. But first, let's check with Ravi and see if he even has somebody available. They may have some videotaped training or some. That's an old-fashioned word. Sorry, it isn't videotape anymore. That's as bad as saying junior college.
Let me just
video.
I think I missed the hours that Chris is available. Chris,
9
you say after 9, between 9 and what?
3 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So we're a little late. We're quite
time.
late today for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, well, we'll do that. And then the other thing I wanted to do was just check with you on if you've gotten any more mentors besides the gentleman who said he would, and I've forgotten his name, but the guy who said he would be a mentor. Have any other people replied to you?
No, just that person.
It was David Strobridge or something like that was his name. Okay, and have you got the 2 of them hooked up, the mentor and the mentee? I mean,
Yes.
you've
Yes.
exchanged their information with the two of them?
Yes.
Okay, so they both know each other's email addresses, telephone numbers, or just email addresses?
Email addresses.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to have to do something because we now, as of today, we have 31 participants. So I think we're going to reach our 50. And we're going to need to accelerate it a little bit to get these matched up. How many messages do you think you've posted?
Probably about, let's see, I'll say about 20,
Okay.
20 messages.
Okay, and so, and each one, it was to a possible mentor for a specific mentee, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and did you do them all by writing on their wall on the Ning, or did you do some on the MentorCloud, or?
Writing on their walls, and then the MentorCloud was a little more difficult finding people to match up on that
Yeah, I know.
side. They had, very few that were available as mentors. The other one had a lot more available.
Sure, sure.
On there.
Well, we think that some people, what happens when you write on somebody's walls, they get an email message. But if they've set up their email so that there's a filter and they dump those in a folder, they may never look at them. So I think you should probably go back to those ones that you've already written to and try writing to them again, but this time directly to their email address.
Okay.
And I think I sent an email about how to do that. You're now both administrators, so you can go and get their email from the tab that says My Network. If you have any trouble finding it, let me know.
Okay.
And what you might do to get them to not just delete the email as spam is you might say something like, College Open Textbooks request that you be a mentor. Because they'll recognize that name, College Open Textbooks.
More you mean in
the subject of the email, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll help. And then if it still doesn't work, what we might do is we've got a PAS email address that Alexa's been using to welcome them. We can let you log on to that and send it from there in case they don't, they look at your name and they don't know who you are, so they don't open it. And with most colleges, it's pretty easy to get the phone number for somebody. In fact, you just call the college and say, I want to speak to Professor so-and-so, and they put you through. So that'll be another alternative. But for now, just try the email. And of course, you've got new ones now because, well, actually, with 31, if you've done 20, you've done more than half of the ones we have now. Were you sending to more than one mentor for a specific mentee?
No.
Okay. So did you actually have 20 you were looking at yourself? Out of I think the last list we had 28 people on it.
Yeah, it was around that number. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. I just didn't want both you and Allison going after the same, looking out for the same mentee to find a mentor for the same mentee. But hey,
split it up.
Our percentage hit is so low. I don't think it's a big problem. A little like the telesales people who push their automatic dialer to call 5 houses at the same time, and the chances they get 2 are pretty low. So, or buying lottery tickets.
List, and then I sent her.
Okay. Okay. All right, good. It seems like there was a third thing, but I can't remember what it was, and it's a little hard since you're... Oh, I was going to kind of walk through some of the features, but since you can't see the screen, that's not particularly useful. So as soon as we're off this call, I'll write to Ravi and ask for a training course for you and Allison and see what we can arrange. And you should have got... a new list last Friday that it actually had 29 names on, but one woman was repeated. And then today Chris told us, the guy at the league told us that we had 3 more, but somebody canceled. There was another, Alexa sent out a note that there's another cancellation. So Judy, did you share that with Chris and Allison, this new cancellation?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, great.
The most recent one I just sent just a little while ago before we met.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for joining us late in your day. We very much appreciate it. And I'll send you this recording so you can see, as I was jumping around my screen as we talked, you can see a few things.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right. Both of you have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Jacky.
All right.